Why did silver have to break our hearts again yesterday? I was disheartened yesterday by the action in the silver market. I was so optimistic after Friday when silver had outperformed relative to the overall markets. I thought, man, these precious metals, they're turning the corner. They're realizing this high inflation. This is like the 70s. They're going to outperform. And then yesterday, in the morning, a guy from Barclays, a big prestigious bank, Barclays, not a guy in his basement doing economic predictions, and a guy from Jefferies, both came out and kind of started this momentum and this consensus that built throughout the day that the Fed is not going to raise just by a half point tomorrow, but by 3/4 of a point. That was surprisingly more hawkish, surprises me. I still don't think they're going to raise by 3/4 of a point, but who knows, right? It could be a point, and then we're really going to be in a house of pain. But it could be less too, which would be good for precious metals. Nonetheless, sky-high levels of debt in this country, corporate, government, consumer, mortgage, cannot sustain too much more when it comes to higher interest rates. So I don't think that we have too much more hawkishness that we're going to have to endure when it comes to the price of the metals. And I know $21, right? That's the current price for an ounce of silver. That stinks. But it's not horrific. It's not 14, it's not 16, it's not 12, right? If we can maintain above 20 and survive this period, and we've survived, folks. It's been hawkland, tight monetary policy land for the last, seems like year and a half. We've survived till now. If we can hold on a little longer, there are greener pastures ahead. And it's so important to remember that this stuff is becoming increasingly hard to find for the miners. Ask any silver miner. Silver miners can't buy a silver mine. It's almost impossible now to find new silver deposits. And then you've got to take 10 years to develop them into mines. And at the same time, let's not forget another important point. This stuff is also being consumed at a greater rate. The demand is higher than the supply. I know it makes no sense, right? The price is going down. But in the end, market forces will prevail. In other news regarding silver, the amount of silver in these vaults, I guess the COMEX vaults, the JP Morgan vaults, apparently that's dropping. That's good from a supply perspective. That means the supply of silver is going down. What about food? I want to ask you guys about food. I'm going to change subjects, but are we going to have a food shortage? I hear some of these other financial celebrities on YouTube talking about this oncoming food shortage. Are we going to have a food shortage? I want to know what you think. Are you preparing for it? I really haven't, but do I need to? Here's my question. Here's a question for you if you're a food prepper. If you're just an amateur like me and I don't want to buy a bunch of vacuum sealed 5-gallon drums, blah, blah, blah. What can I go to the grocery store and buy inexpensively that I can put on the shelf down here in the basement that would last 2 or 3 or 4 years? Like a can of pork and beans, and I would buy more than one. Or what type of thing could you buy to do with that? Yellen needs to be fired. On a different subject. Janet Yellen is a joke. We need to get rid of her. You can watch some of my other videos, but I mean, come on, this lady, she was the head of the Fed, the head of the Treasury. She was wrong about inflation. Now she's saying the economy's strong. I'm so sick of hearing these people say that Joe Biden's economy is strong. Let's get rid of them. And finally, here's the final point. Nobody's talking about, like, a month ago, you turn on the TV, all you would hear about is Ukraine and how horrible Russia's doing in Ukraine and blah, blah, blah. Now there's nothing being said about it, and it's because Russia is doing very well. And it kind of annoys me that that's just not covered at all by the mainstream media. It's like, okay, well, we lost that war. We lost in Afghanistan. Now we're losing in Ukraine. I don't know that the Middle East went well. We'll just kind of forget about all this and, Anyway, I went down a rabbit hole. Thanks for watching. I'm glad you're here. Let's be optimistic about our friend silver because things will get better. I'll see you soon.